Some very tragic news that's coming in at the top of this hour. Army commanding officer among 7 killed in a terror attack in Manipur. 5 soldiers, including commanding officer, have been killed in a terror attack in Manipur. Army commanding officer, his wife and 8-year-old son also killed in the terror attack. 4 others have been injured in this attack. The incident occurred around 10 a.m. near Singhat village under Behiang police station of Singhat subdivision of Churachandpur district in Manipur. The incident spot is close to the India-Myanmar border, pillar number 43. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has condemned the attack and has said that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. My colleague Gaurav Samant is now joining me live from the newsroom on this extremely unfortunate and tragic news that's coming in right now. Gaurav, from Manipur, what are the details of this incident? What happened?
So early this morning, around 10 this morning, Col Viplav Tripathi was part of a convoy that was traveling. This incident took place about 65 kilometers from Churachandpur. This is the Churachandpur district where this encounter, where this IED blast took place. So his wife and child, 8-year-old son, they were traveling with him as part of this convoy, and this convoy was attacked by terrorists. There was a massive IED blast, we are told, in which unfortunately his vehicle took the brunt of that IED blast. He, his wife, that young child, 3 QRT personnel and the driver were killed. We are told there are reports that there was firing subsequently. The QRT also fired back. Reinforcements have now been brought in. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh says apart from the army, you also have the Central Armed Police Forces, the paramilitary forces and the police who have now fanned out in this area for these terrorists who were engaged in this task, who are engaged in this terror attack. We still do not have the official word about the terrorist group. There are of course some suspects, but you'd recall that this is an area where security forces have been targeted even in the past, because this is where, while anti-terrorist operations continue, Polami, you are aware that terrorists melt away into Myanmar after the terror strike, and in the past a cross-border terror strike has, counter-terror strike has taken place. This time it remains to be seen whether terrorists melted away across the border or still remain inside.
So, Gaurav, could you give us a sense of the countermeasures that are being taken after this incident occurred? You, of course, said that there are suspected terrorist groups that could be behind this. We possibly cannot name one at the moment. It's probably a matter of investigation. But countermeasures that have been taken, and anyone that they've identified who could have possibly been behind this attack or aided this attack?
So in Manipur, there are about 60 terror groups and 60 splinter groups of the terror groups, and then splinter groups of those terror groups, and one arm of the People's Liberation, terrorist groups, and so on. So we have some names, but the army this time is being extremely cagey about sharing those details about the terrorist groups and splinter groups. They're waiting for more investigations to be carried out about intelligence inputs that may or may not have been there at that point of time, and whether the terrorists succeeded in going across the border, and what action needs to be taken. Because remember, the army has been deployed in this area. The Assam Rifles, they've been deployed. The officer who was killed in action was the commanding officer of 46 Assam Rifles. This is a regiment that knows the lay of the land very well, including some intelligence about movement across the border. So what action is subsequently taken is the big question about terrorists here or those who have their camps on the other side of the border, Polami.
Right, so a big blow to the regiment as well, losing their commanding officer. Extremely unfortunate news that's coming in from Manipur. Gaurav, thank you so much for sharing those details.